I'm back again. Thank you for coming back, and if this is your first time coming to my channel, you are welcome, and I do hope you come back and watch some more videos. Since it's Mental Health Awareness Week, I thought I would share my experience with mental health and be able to inspire anyone that's going through similar situations and just let them know that everything will be okay. It's a gradual process, but you'll get there eventually. So yeah, my experience with mental health, oh my goodness, I do not know where to start. But it was some years ago, I think about 4 years ago, yeah, I had my first mental breakdown ever. I had just broken up from my violent relationship, so I guess my emotions were still running high because I just couldn't believe that I'd actually been able to escape, because with those kind of things you actually don't think you will be able to leave. So I guess for me it was a thing that, wow, okay, I'm a survivor. So there were other emotions going on around that time as well, but I do believe that me coming out of that relationship was one of the major breaking points for me. So my first mental breakdown was, I remember I was driving. This is really crazy because I literally stopped driving in the middle of the road and I just lost it. I literally lost it. My car was just there in the middle of the road, and cars were just driving past because they didn't understand why I just stopped in the middle of the road. Cars were driving past, cars were beeping at me. There was even a big truck coming towards me and it had to swerve around me because obviously I just stopped the car in the middle of the road. I remember this one man, he actually stopped his car and he came to talk to me, and he was like, "Are you okay? What's going on? Is your car breaking down?" And I just didn't talk. I just looked at him and I just didn't say a word. And what had happened was, before all of this actually happened, I'd called a friend and I was really upset about something, and he was like, "Oh, okay, do you know what, come and see me, like calm down, everything will be fine." And I was like, okay, cool. So I was actually driving towards his house when the whole breakdown happened. And so the man came, so going back to the story now, the man came out of his car, he came to my car to ask me if I'm okay, and I was just like, I need help. I remember, the joke is, I remember everything like as if it was yesterday. I remember piece for piece, everything, but mentally I know I wasn't myself. I wasn't there because he was talking to me, but I was talking to myself. I was ignoring everything he was saying to me, any questions he was asking me. I just wasn't even paying attention, kind of thing. So I remember he went to go and park his car somewhere, and then he was like, "Okay, get into the passenger seat, I'm gonna drive." And I was just like, okay, I just need help. And so he took my phone. I think at that time, I don't even think I was using an iPhone then. I don't even know what I was using, but whatever phone it was, he was able to get into it and call the last person I had called. And so, which was my friend that I was crying to. So the man called him and was like, "Oh, by the way, this is the last number that's been dialed. I'm with your friend. I don't know what's going on, but she stopped in the middle of the road." And that time my friend was injured, so he couldn't drive because his leg was injured, so he wasn't able to come and meet the man or come and meet me to take the car. Because my friend couldn't come and pick me up, the man had to drive to his house. So bless this man, he's parked his car, come to help me, taken my car. He doesn't know me from nowhere. He doesn't even understand the state I'm in because he's trying to talk to me and I'm literally ignoring him because I'm in my own world at this stage. So we get to my friend's house, and I remember, because the man had left his car, my friend actually had to drive now to bring the man back. And I felt, thinking about it now, I feel so bad because he had an injury on his leg and everything. And so he drove the man back to where he had parked his car. And the man was telling his life story to my friend and everything, and I remember everything. I remember hearing everything, but the thing is, when they were talking to me, I was just ignoring them. I was just in the back in my own world. Like, things were going through my head and images were being played, and it's as if I was living in the moment of the images being played in my head. So literally, in reality, I wasn't there at all. I wasn't. But I was there in my own world, the world that I was seeing in my head. So I remember we got to the man's car and my friend was like saying thank you and stuff. And then the man went. And it was just me and my friend was like trying to talk to me. And he's like, are you okay? And I was just like, I need help. So the state I was in, I knew I needed help. And I don't know how it is for other people, because I've not witnessed anyone else having a mental breakdown before. But I knew I wasn't myself and I knew I needed help. I knew I wanted to go hospital. That's what I said. I said, I want to go hospital. I need help. And he just didn't understand what was going on. So he was like, no, you're going to be fine. You're going to be all right. So he was coming to give me a hug to be like, you're going to be okay. And I flipped. Literally, I shouldn't even be laughing, but it's just playing it back in my head. It's like, wow, did this really happen to me? Because people have this perception of mental health. And obviously growing up, I live near a mental health hospital. So I did see a lot of informal patients walking around. And so when it comes to mental health, I myself used to have this certain perception of patients that are under mental health acts and stuff. So it's just crazy to be like, wow, yeah, this actually happened to me. I'm actually a victim of mental health breaking down kind of thing. But so yeah, he was coming to give me a hug to be like, everything's gonna be okay, and I flipped out. And in my head, I was playing the abuse. So I started crying and I was like, I'm sorry, please don't hurt me. And my friend was confused, because to him, it's like he's only coming to give me a hug. But in my head, I'm playing the image of being about to be beaten up. So my friend's like, whoa, calm down. And I don't know what happened, but I eventually calmed down. And then he was like, okay, we're gonna go somewhere. So I'm just there like, I need help, I want to go hospital. And he's like, no, don't worry, blah blah blah. He's just like, no, calm down. So we went to, where did we go? We went to a park. Till this day, I actually don't even know what park that was or where it is. So we went to a park, and he just, because he thought having a walk of fresh air would do me good. We got to the park. We've got the car now. So yeah, he's walking towards the park and I'm behind him, and I'm walking in the opposite direction towards the main road. And then he turns around to see if like I'm walking behind him, and I just remember him running after me to be like, where are you going, come back. And then I was just like, I need help. I was still saying the same thing, I need help. That's throughout the whole night, because it happened from like it happened from late in the night to early mornings, and I just kept on repeating myself that I need help, I want to go to hospital, I need help. But he wasn't listening to me. So I think after this incident of me walking towards the main road, he took me back to my car, and then he was like, okay, I'm gonna get you your help now. So I remember he called 999. But while we was waiting, I fell asleep. So it was so long ago, I'm trying to remember bits, but yeah, I fell asleep. And I remember waking up and the police and the ambulance were like at my car and they were talking to me, but I wasn't responding. I was just like, And the police and ambulance were like, oh, do you know what happened to her? Like, do you know what it is? And my friend was like, nah, but he probably thinks maybe I had a bit too much to drink. And I remember all of this, but obviously because I was asleep, I didn't respond to be like, no, I've not been drinking, I had a mental breakdown. I just ignored it. So the police were like, okay, do you know, just let her rest up. Maybe it was a bit too much drink that she had and just let her rest and then take her home. And my friend was like, oh, okay, cool, that's fine, he'll do that. So I remember we drove back to his house, but we never left the car. I just wanted to sleep, that was it. I just remember feeling very tired and I just wanted to sleep. And he was like, okay, come, let's go into my house. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna sleep in the car. I don't know, I have this habit of sleeping in the car. I love sleeping in my car. It's a bad habit, but I just love it. I love relaxing in my car. Like, anytime I go out and I'm coming back home, I'll just sit in my car for about 5 minutes before I actually enter my house. I don't know where I got that habit from, but you know, it's like a relaxation thing for me, I guess. So yeah, I remember I just fell asleep in my car. I woke up and I drove myself home. And I know that sounds like, what happened? But till this day, I do think what would have happened if I had gone to the hospital, they had done their assessment and sectioned me under the Mental Health Act. Like, would I be where I am today? Would I still be under their care in a mental hospital? Like, there's so many things that I am grateful for. Like, I am grateful for my friend being there. Even though he didn't understand what was happening to me, he was still there for me. And it's not everyone that can make that kind of decisions for you. Because I know for a fact, if my friend was saying they need help, they want to go to hospital, I would have taken them. But it's the things that happen after that hospital assessment, that's where the danger is. Because you might end up on medication, you might end up just... The way I feel mental health is seen, if you've not been through it, you don't understand it at all. You won't understand it. No matter what, you can do your research, you can read books, unless you've gone through it and experienced it, you just won't understand it. So with my friend, I do appreciate that he didn't take me to hospital, because I can't help but think what would have happened. And yeah. So with my experience, that's my mental health experience, my mental breakdown. I remember I went home and I slept and everything was okay. Then the next day, I was on the phone to my ex, and he said something, and it just blew a fuse. It blew another fuse in me. And I remember I was just shouting, and then my parents came running into my room, and I'm just there on my bed rocking back and forth, and my parents thought something was wrong with my face. So I remember my dad running to the bathroom to get a wet flannel to come and wipe my face, because he thought, oh, maybe something's in my eye, because I was holding onto my head and I was just rocking back and forth. Sounds like something out of a movie, really, because that's what you see in movies, isn't it? So I was just rocking back and forth, just screaming. And yeah, and then I just calmed down, and my parents was like, what was wrong? And I was like, nothing. And then they just left my bedroom. But then I got this habit, like after that happened, I got this habit and I just wanted to tidy up. So I was just walking around the house, tidying up and talking to myself, just talking to myself, tidying up, talking to myself. And my mum was like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? And my mum is for those that know my mother, they know that she's a very, very typical African woman. Like, everything is, so typical. It's just a typical Ghanaian woman. Like, everything. I don't even know where to start from, but she's very, very Ghanaian. So for her, she was like, what, have I gone and cursed someone and it's come back to me? I swear that on my life, I will never ever forget this, and I'm not playing with you. My mom actually asked me, she was like, have you gone to like a juju man and the curses come, like the spells come back to you? And I just like, I actually stopped talking to myself, I stopped tidying up, and I looked at her and I just went back to bed. And I just feel like parents need to understand their children. If they see a change in their children, question it, because you actually never know. It could be something like exam stress, and that could be their breakdown. It could be it could be anything really. It doesn't have to only be relationships. It could be anything. There's so many people have their different stress levels, and some people actually can't handle big education, so that might be their breakdown. The amount of exams they've got coming up, the fact of them worrying if they're going to pass or if they're going to fail, that's a big impact on them as well. My parents have never understood, and I've never sat down to explain to them to say this is why this happened and whatnot, so I've left it as that. I've dealt with all of this myself. I remember when I first said to my mum, oh, I feel depressed. Ever since then, I was like, I'm never going to tell my mum anything again about my emotions, because she just turned around and was like, depressed? What do you know about depression? And I was just like, okay, cool. So I left it as that. But yeah, I've just dealt with things myself really, and I think that's quite dangerous, because there could be a chance of another breakdown when things become too much. So I wouldn't say that if you feel like you're going through a lot, keep it to yourself and just think, oh, you can handle it. You can be strong mentally, but you will have your breaking point. Everyone reaches an extent where they can't handle it anymore, and that was my story of where I got to a point emotionally where I just couldn't hold on, or I couldn't handle the emotions that I was feeling anymore. I would say if you are feeling weak mentally, or if you are feeling like you're overloading yourself with burdens, go and seek some help. Speak to someone. It's really, really important. Even if you don't want to go to a professional, speak to a friend or speak to a family member that will understand. Perhaps speak to someone that you know has had experience before. I'll put my email address in the box below so that you can contact me if there's anything that you want to talk about, anything you want to get guidance on. That's what I'm here for, Talk to Tiana. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I really hope that you have learned something about mental health in the Awareness Week. Bye!